Oh, look at that drop. How did that happen? There's a lot of things that happen on the Bitcoin blockchain that really puzzle me and make me ask why. And that is one of them. How do we go from consistently for the last couple days since the halving, thousands of sats per VByte to hundreds of sats per VByte, and then all of a sudden we dropped to 42. And it's not like it was an empty block. There's 4,991 transactions in there. So how does that happen? 845.21, they had a subsidy and fees of 6.18. And then last block, only 4.5 Bitcoin. Pretty crazy to look at this now. Just last week, we were looking at the blockchain here on mempool.space, back when the subsidy was 6.25. So that's a significant difference right now for the miners. Remember that the miners make all of their revenues from Bitcoin mining. And last week on Friday, we were all celebrating. But the Bitcoin miners, their revenues get cut in half. Their costs don't change. In fact, they probably go up as we go along here. But their revenue cut in half. So that's pretty wild. And if you think about that, this is kind of this was the average of the subsidy and fees last week, a little bit higher than this, obviously. But let's say 450,000, that's per block. And then today, because of the subsidy, and I think that this is kind of the normal as we go forward here, the 42 sats gets cut by 150,000 bucks. So that is significant for the Bitcoin miners. I'm not envious or jealous of anybody who's Bitcoin mining. That is a very tough industry. And it's why I kind of shifted I hold Bitcoin. Obviously, that's my significant holding. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have a Bitcoin channel. But I also have some other investments. And I recently switched from Bitcoin mining stocks into the ETF and into MicroStrategy. For that reason, it's just very difficult for these miners to keep the lights on and to keep the miners running when every 4 years your revenue gets cut in half. And so what we would expect here and what should happen is that the way that everything works within Bitcoin is that even though the subsidy and the fee went down in Bitcoin, because, it's a halving year, the price usually goes up significantly, their dollar amount over time will equalize, stabilize. But we're not there yet. The price hasn't moved much in the last little while. The last halving, it didn't move till around September. It didn't really move much until September. So it halved in May 2020, and then it wasn't until about September 2020 where the price really started to move. But then it 10x'd. So that was before Wall Street. That was before all of these countries. That was before everything that's been happening in Bitcoin. So I do expect a fairly significant movement this summer or fall. So the fees, 250 sats, they have gone down for one block, but that's been the average for the last little while, 250 sats per VByte. Pretty high, too high.